All right, assuming we're done blowing power fuses in the office, blue screening of death, and having a plethora of equipment explode, we might actually be streaming coverage now. I know it's a minor miracle, but apparently that is going to be how we're just going to do things today, and that's by blowing up as much as possible in the shortest duration of time. Who, now that apparently we've got some camera settings messed up on here again. Oh, let me tell you, it's been a day, and I know absolutely no one cares about said day. But here we go. All right. It is the 24th of September, 2023. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We do have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We have one tornado warning, which is why we're here. We would have been here quite a bit earlier, but everything possible has exploded in the office. So let's just go ahead and get started. Most storms today, hailers. Quarter to baseball size hail. Damaging straight line winds, 60 to 70 miles an hour. All these little storms popping up from Junction to Llano to, Killeen, Waco, the DFW Metroplex. Could be hailers. Big hail, damaging winds. Single tornado warning. That's going to be for a dangerous supercell approaching the city of Commerce in portions of Hunt and Delta counties. That's where all our storm chasers are. And I'm going to get these feeds set up real quick on this side so y'all can see them. We've been streaming the Storm Chaser feed for over an hour now. We've got it on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube and the Texas Storm Chasers Facebook. One of those server computer racks behind me is doing that. Almost blew the power grid up. Those of you in the city of Commerce need to be in a safe place. So we're going to talk more about this in just a second. In fact, I'll just press some buttons because we have a new tornado warning. Those of you in Commerce need to be in shelter. This thunderstorm has the potential to put a tornado down at any time, and we're watching Storm Chaser feeds. In the event that happens, I need to fix them on this stream. But again, red box, it's going to be a tornado warning now until 7:30 p.m. for Hunt, Hopkins County. This includes Commerce, Cumby, and Campbell. This is east of Gainesville, or excuse me, let me clarify, I always do this. This is east of the city of Greenville, west of the city of Sulphur Springs, not a threat to either city. This is going to be crossing Interstate 30 near Cumby and Campbell, and y'all need to be in a safe place. No one should be traveling on Interstate 30, though no one's going to listen to me, and they're going to keep traveling anyway. And then when they get lofted by the tornado and debris impales their vehicle, they're going to wonder why no one warned them. Hint, I just did, so that's on you. Don't you love Spicy Davis? Yes, sirree, Bob. It's a Monday. All right. So, let me make sure we've got this set up correctly. Now, why are these are not even linked? Why is this linked? Let me tell you, I am just about fed up with technology today. All right. In fact, technology and I are going to have a long discussion after this with my mallet. In case you're wondering, I do have the mallet ready. Things are going to get smashed when I'm done with this. All right, we've got that. I'm building this on the fly, so you're going to see stuff. Congratulations. Welcome to my Monday. Now, you see, why is it shouldn't be doing that? Why is it literally trying to change every other scene I have on this? They're not linked. They're not even technically set to the same settings. All right, well, let's just do this then. Let's see. Maybe this will work. Nope. That's just a YouTube video. I'm about to just give up, and we'll have one stream on here at a time, and we'll just switch them as necessary. But again, tornado warning does continue for portions of Hunt and Delta counties until 7:30 p.m. This is going to be for a dangerous thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado approaching the city of Commerce, moving southeast to 25 miles an hour. In addition, this thunderstorm could also produce at least golf ball size hail. I know the Weather Service has it on there for $50, but I don't care. It could be at least golf balls. Definitely a well-organized supercell capable of producing golf ball-sized hail, straight-line winds over 70 miles an hour, and the potential for a tornado. You can see Jason Cooley's live feed there. Again, I do not understand why this piece of software is trying to change every literal video feed I have on here. Well, could it be? Could it be? Now, what is going on? Did I break everything I have, or is technology just hate me? Honestly, technology might just hate me. Let's just stick with that, smile and wave and pretend it's okay. Otherwise, all the other storms we have across the region this afternoon are hailers. One north of Palestine, golf ball size hail. One near Cedar Hill starting to get its act together. That could have quarter size hail at least. That'll probably need a severe warning. Waco, southwest of Waco, all the way down to Killeen, Lampasas, Marble Falls, Fredericksburg. All those storms capable of hail, damaging straight line winds. The only tornado warning we have, and the overall tornado threat tonight should remain limited, will be this thunderstorm near Commerce. There we go. All right. Again, we're just gonna... You know what? I'm just gonna start pressing buttons. That is exactly what I'm gonna do. You're gonna see nothing for the moment. I'm gonna see if I can't push out this live feed. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't blow Chaser production computer sky high. All right. Here we go. There you go. We could see that. Here's live storm chasers. Stephen Jones, Trey Greenwood, Adam Lucio, Chelsea Burnett, Jason Cooley. They are all on the tornado-warned storm near the city of Commerce. This is a live look at the wall cloud near the city of Commerce. This is going to be a wall cloud that has shown intermittent signs of low-level rotation, but as you can see, there is no tornado down right now. That being said, tornado warning is in effect through 7:30 p.m. Looks like we're getting golf ball size hail in Richardson right now. Thank you to those sending in those pictures. Getting some pretty good size hail with that. We'll go back over to the radar here. And again, the storm near Richardson's, that's going to be left split supercell moving to the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. Could have golf ball size hail. This storm, generally speaking, over Garland, north sides of Rowlett right now. East sides of Richardson moving northeast at 30 towards Lavon, Rockwall, Nevada, Josephine, Royce City, and Fate. That could have golf ball size hail. Right split supercell over Cedar Hill State Park down to Joe Pool Lake, down towards Lake Ridge subdivision, moving southeast. That could have at least quarter size hail as it moves off to the southeast. Severe storm northwest of the city of Palestine. That's generally moving more southeast now. That could have at least golf ball size hail with it. We've got storms over McLennan County. Those are generally moving southeast about 20 miles an hour. The potential for at least quarter size hail with that. As we head down into central Texas, let's see if the Granger radar is back up. If not, not a surprise. It might actually be online. Wow, good for them. Good for the Air Force technicians. Multiple thunderstorms capable of producing nickel to perhaps half-dollar size hail. Localized winds of 45 to 60 miles an hour. Those are generally meandering around, but moving southeast at about 15 to 25 miles an hour. Reason we're here, even with all the technical chaos that has literally made me want to put my head through this glass desk, is a tornado warning until 7:30 p.m. This is going to be for portions of Hunt and Hopkins County. Delta counties down here near Emory. Y'all may end up in a tornado warning down the road, but not just yet. Hunt and Hopkins County until 7:30 p.m. That's going to be a tornado warning for a severe thunderstorm near the city of Commerce, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. This thunderstorm is also capable of producing golf ball-sized hail, localized damaging wind gusts of 60 miles per hour. We'll head back over to the chaser wall, see if technology still hates me, and of course it will. That might be Adam Lucio's feed I've got set up in Jason's corner, so this is apparently what I'm going to get. So I need to move that box down. One moment, please. Now I'm going to have to do this. There we go. Well, maybe not that much. All right. I believe that's Adam Lucio's feed. I'll tell you what, after today, we're going to find someone who monitors these chaser feeds for me so I can actually do severe weather coverage. When the entire team's chasing and I'm the only one in the office, it is not that easy. So, Jenny Brown, if you're watching, you're going to get access to this remote computer at some point here in the next couple of days. Data, apparently nobody in their right mind is getting data out right now except Stephen Jones. And we'll just pop back over and take a look at that real quick. Right off the chaser wall, you can see that's Stephen Jones' chaser feed there. He's in commerce, repositioning. Jason's not getting video out. Adam is. So those of you in the city of Commerce, it is hail time, it is wind time. Let me see if I can get this video to work again. I apologize. I try not to be as kerfluffled as this, but apparently technology and I just don't get along today. And apparently I can't press buttons on here without everything just breaking. I'm actually changing some stuff on the chaser feed right now. That's what I'm looking at. But again, those of you in the city of Commerce need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Try to do here is actually get technology to work. And then I'm going to smash it with a mallet. Because that's how angry I am at it right now. Well, look at that. Technology might actually be working. And now one of the dogs is whining outside the door because they want to get in and rip up my office cords. But the dog doesn't get to do that. All right, there we go. Hey! You already ripped up a $600 hot tub. You're not ripping up the computer equipment. It was an inflatable hot tub, if it makes anyone feel better, but puppy be puppy. All right, so here we go. I think technology might be working. It's a minor miracle, but you know what? We're going to keep praying and hope it's okay. We got golf balls in Richardson from the thunderstorm a wee bit earlier. We've got a supercell organizing in southwestern Dallas / northwestern Ellis counties. That storm probably going to have more hail soon. And then after the storms roll through, it's going to rain, or it's going to be sunny, until more storms fire up like the one in Fort Worth. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to take this. I wish I had Xanax. No, I'm kidding. I don't have Xanax, but I do wish I had a chill pill right now. I'll say that. Otherwise, it's just caffeine time. Sorry, let me turn the studio lights back on. They blew up when I blew the grid fuse a bit earlier. The grid fuse, the power fuse. People ask me why I have 4 UPS systems in here to power all these monitors, computers, etc. For random stuff like that. And, you know, when the storm tries to hit the house with lightning. Oh, look, you get to look at me as I turn on the light. Congratulations. benefit of having a camera that can do that sitting on top of an empty C4 energy cam. All right, let's see. Little AC unit just turned back on. If it cannot blow the grid or blow the power fuse this time, I'd appreciate it. But if it does, just pretend the house got hit by lightning. All right, we're going to look at the Texas statewide view now. I'm going to try to actually collect myself and present some symbolized decorum here. We're going to let this loop. Hey, Thane, you know that loop you're supposed to be doing? Here we go. Here's radar over the last couple of hours. You can see we've had thunderstorms blossom up along both a boundary located across the hill country, central Texas, into North Texas, and a cool front that's going to help spark off storms close to the Red River later. We're going to have more storms fire up later, by the way. This is not the only round of storms we're going to have tonight. We're going to have a plethora and multiple rounds, which means more are going to pop later, and those could also have damaging winds and some hail. Otherwise, at this point, storms. One coming near the city of Palestine, that could have golf ball-sized hail with it as it moves southeast. So Palestine, get ready. Severe storm northwest of the city moving southeast at 20 to 25. Could have large hail, damaging winds. We've got storms in McLennan County slowly intensifying. There's a severe thunderstorm warning. Those storms could also have quarter to golf ball size hail, winds of 55 to 65 miles an hour. Thunderstorms further to the southwest, moving southeast about 20 to 25. Not severe at this point. They could be. Jenny Brown, if you're watching, let me know. Thank you. Otherwise, back up here in North Texas, we've got a single tornado warning. That's going to be for Hunt in Hopkins County for a supercell capable of producing a tornado, golf ball size hail at least, right now in the city of Commerce, and damaging straight line winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. A left split supercell moving to the northeast towards Toco, Paris, just east of Honey Grove. That could have golf ball size hail at least. And again, our storm chasers, who you're watching right now, they are in Cumby. So they are repositioning ahead of the storm, or the tornadic supercell, and that's moving southeast at about 25 miles an hour. No tornado on it right now, and if there's going to be a tornado, we're going to show it to you. In fact, I'm going to switch the chaser feed. What has he got? Press that. We're going to press. That's not what I wanted. That is. All right. We're going to do real quick. Let's go back to this. I'm going to show you, since I don't have his feet set up, say hello to the moose. That's going to be your area of circulation just northwest of Cumby, now south of Commerce. That's going to be your broad rotating wall cloud. Notice how the circulation or portion of this in the foreground is moving left to right. Meanwhile, the background is moving right to left. That is your cyclonic area of rotation. Doesn't look super organized right now. You know, it doesn't look like something that's going to drop a tornado in the next 20 seconds, but these things certainly do have the potential to spin up in a hurry. Thank you to all those coming in on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, sending us hail reports. Richardson got 2-inch hail, it looks like. Just got a picture from Trey in Richardson from near Jupiter and Buckingham of 2-inch diameter size hail. That is hen egg. That is larger than a golf ball, smaller than a tennis ball, but still quite enough to ruin your roof and damage vehicles. Weather Service had that warned for $half size hail. You might remember we mentioned that we thought it was at least golf ball. Turns out we were right. So I'll get a cookie later, and then I'll smash it with the mallet because I don't deserve a cookie after all the technical issues we've had this afternoon with the live streaming coverage. All right, let's go back to Chaser Wall. There we go. Are we still broadcasting audio? I hope we are. My audio meter wasn't updating. You can see Jason Cooley has a good view of that wall cloud now. He's near Cumby. I need to switch over to his feed on the chaser wall. And again, outside of this one tornado warning approaching Cumby and Interstate 30, which you can see the inflow notch is starting to become more established again, that hook echo, we also have thunderstorms extending further southwest. We've got a severe storm that's produced 2-inch diameter size hail in Richardson to Garland, moving off to the east-northeast towards Rockwall. North side of, well, I guess at this point it's northeast of Lake Ray Hubbard, or about to approach Lake Ray Hubbard. Let's rephrase that. This storm moving east at about 20 to 25, Rockwall, Roy City, Fate. You could get it in some big hail. Storm over far southern Dallas, northern Ellis counties is organizing further at this point. That's going to need a severe thunderstorm warning sooner rather than later. This storm moving southeast at about 15. It is not moving quickly, but it is moving towards Glen Heights, Ovilla, northeast sides of Midlothian, then eventually down towards southwestern sections of Red Oak and Waxahachie. Now, you see this little green boundary line we're showing you right now, this little green line. That is an outflow boundary that is separating surface unstable ingested air from this little hook echo right here. Now, I mention this because typically that keeps the tornado threat much, much lower, but I'm a little concerned about this. You see that? We're going to have to watch that carefully just in case this storm tries to ingest that outflow boundary again, and if it does so, that could locally enhance the low-level wind shear and allow this thunderstorm to attempt to become spinny, doom, mischief candidate number 2. At this point, that's not the issue, but clearly this storm in northern Ellis County is beginning to become more supercellular in nature, seeing quite a bit of cloud-to-ground lightning now as that storm moves to the southeast. You can see on the live stream on the bottom right side of your screen. In fact, I'll make that full screen real quick. Let's see. It may show the right cam. It may not. There you go. We've got a bunch of the Texas storm chasers. You got Adam Lucio. You got Chelsea Burnett. You've got Stephen Jones. You just got the power grid that just blew the office fuse. You've got Trey Greenwood in orange. You've got Brandy Dietrich in green, the wife of Stephen Jones, or the mother of the group. And real quick, I'm going to put y'all on the chaser wall, because we'll switch back to me real quick. And you'll notice it has suddenly become very dark in here, because I just blew the fuse again, which means I need to go reset it. But fortunately, you're still watching me. You're still watching the chaser streams, because we have like $1,000 in batteries in here for situations like this, or more typically a thunderstorm trying to knock this window down. But it helps in this situation too. So I'll be right back. Let me go flip that fuse again, and we'll be good to go. Boom. All right, we're back. Apologies for that. get back to it. It is 7:08 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. Every piece of technology imaginable that could break is trying its best to break today. The only thing that hasn't happened is one of these things catching on fire, but given my luck over the last hour, I would not be surprised. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for a good portion of Ellis County. A severe thunderstorm moving to the southeast at about 25 miles an hour, capable of producing probably quarter to golf ball size hail as it moves southeast towards Waxahachie, Pecan Hill, Ovilla now over the next several minutes. Eventually going to make its way down towards Ennis, Alma, city of Waxahachie, and Bardwell. Likely a well-organized supercell visually at this point with striations, and the hail core definitely showing indications of increasing, and again, that storm moving southeast. We have other severe storms across the state, and the only tornado warning we have is now near Cumby on Interstate 30. It's going to be east of Greenville, west of Sulphur Springs, near Campbell to Cumby, southeast of Commerce. If y'all in Commerce are watching, you are clear from this thunderstorm and clear from the tornado warning. Otherwise, these storms are moving southeast at about 25 miles an hour. Man, y'all in Garland just got slammed by hail. We warned you about 15 minutes ago that it was warned for $50 from the Weather Service, but we were thinking golf balls, and it ended up being hen eggs, 2 inches in diameter. So if this was a spin the wheel and get closest to 100 without going over, we would be closest. We win. Otherwise, these storms across North Texas down into portions of the hill country over the next hour could have hail up to the size of golf balls. The most intense storms damaging straight-line winds of 50 to 65 miles an hour and a limited tornado threat. The only tornado warning we have at this point is for a thunderstorm on Interstate 30 with a very nasty-looking hail core southeast of Commerce near Cumby, moving southeast at about 25 miles per hour. This storm could have at least quarter-size hail, if not at least golf balls. Weather Service has it warned for $50 hail. Wouldn't be shocking if it was golf balls. Either way, it's going to mess up your day. And again, also the potential for a tornado with this, as a tornado warning remains in effect through 7:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time for Brashear, Cumby, Campbell, all the way down to just northeast of Lone Oak, north of Point, northwest of Yantis. And again, this thunderstorm is moving southeast at 25 miles an hour. I do not think we're going to have a widespread tornado issue tonight. I don't think we're going to be dealing with many tornado warnings tonight. I think we are going to be dealing with quite a bit of severe thunderstorms and a number of severe thunderstorm warnings, but I don't expect a widespread tornado issue. That being said, plenty of hail damaging winds with these storms this evening. Our storm chasers are on this tornado-warned storm near Cumby as it moves southeast at about 25 miles an hour, and we're going to be keeping an eye on it as it continues to do just that. All right, I'm going to turn off that. We're going to switch to that, and we're going to loop the last hour. We're just going to let the radar do its thing, and we're going to take a look at a discussion just issued by the Storm Prediction Center called a mesoscale discussion, and these allow forecasters, meteorologists, and those interested in the weather to maintain situational awareness on what exactly is going on in the atmosphere. And I'm just going to read this discussion. There may be some meteorological mumbo-jumbo, which I'll do my best to translate in real time, but the summary is risk for large hail and locally damaging wind gusts will continue over the next few hours across central and northeastern Texas. The discussion. Strong to locally severe thunderstorms are ongoing within Weather Watch 596, near and ahead of a nearly stationary surface front. So there's a key word, stationary, meaning that front's not moving, meaning we're going to see more storms later this evening. Those are going to pop up in these same areas. Ahead of the boundary, south of the boundary, a strongly unstable air mass persists per surface analysis, which is supporting locally intense convection. You don't say. Local wind profiles continue to reveal flow veering, increasing with height, that's your wind shear, from southerly near-surface winds to west-northwesterly in the mid-levels, which is supporting ongoing organized thunderstorms. As such, risk for large hail, locally damaging wind gusts will continue over the next few hours. A tornado cannot be ruled out across portions of North Texas and Northeast Texas this evening. While storms near the eastern area of the watch may, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that was just pretty much rehashing what we've already seen. And for what it's worth, when I said we might have new storms developing, that's kind of what's trying to happen back in Tarrant County right now, though those are being comparatively behaved at this point. Otherwise, we do have thunderstorms ongoing. You can see Jason Cooley's got a little bit of striated structure there. You can see as we start losing some light, the cameras are getting darker. They're going to have to bump their exposures up here in a bit to compensate for that. Otherwise, you can see back here in the hill country into central Texas, scattered to locally numerous thunderstorms are moving southeast at about 25 miles an hour. You can see we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of, I'll just read it out loud, McLennan, Bell and Falls County, and a severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson and Burnett counties. These go through at about 8 p.m., give or take 7:45 to 8 p.m. It really doesn't matter. And these storms could have quarter to half-dollar size hail, damaging straight-line winds over 60 miles an hour. This thunderstorm approaching the city of Palestine is looking relatively pissed off in the sense of hail. This thunderstorm could have golf ball-sized hail, perhaps a bit larger as it approaches Palestine over the next 20 to 25 minutes. And again, worst of the hail may stay just west of the city of Palestine, just west of Elkhart. We're going to have to wait and see. Those of you... Oh, good gravy. Woo! Apologies. Those of you just northeast of Oakwood, near Tucker, just east of Harmony, may end up dealing with the worst of the hail. We got live streaming storm chase video. Meteorologist Jason Cooley there in Cumby. Same thing for Adam Lucio, Chelsea Burnett. In fact, I'll just switch over to the whole chaser wall real quick, and we'll take a gander. Whoop! Ellie, look at that. That was a nice cloud-to-ground lightning strike. And remember, all thunderstorms produce lightning. And lightning is frightening. One of the most unpredictable things in nature and in storm chasing. If you think it's the tornadoes that scare us or give us a cause for concern, it's lightning, because you can't really predict where it's going to hit or when it's going to hit. And again, we've got meteorologist Jason Cooley, meteorologist Trey Greenwood, Adam Lucio, Chelsea Burnett, Stephen Jones, all out and about storm chasing. They're all within like 1 square mile of each other right now. Near Cumby, you can see just lightning getting shot out like nuts by that supercell, and that thing's got more of an attitude than a politician losing a re-election campaign. But let me tell you, that is a mean supercell. And again, that is the tornado-warned supercell, currently sitting its happy self on Interstate 30 near Cumby, south of Commerce, west of Sulphur Springs. It's probably raining in Sulphur Springs right now, but the threat of a tornado, if one were to occur, would be near Cumby, moving south of Interstate 30 in the next 10 minutes. But hail, heavy rain, likely over Interstate 30, just east of Greenville, all the way to Brashear, just west of Sulphur Springs. Notice how that we're starting to get a little messier of a convective mode here now with this storm. We've got additional storms developing back southwest along Interstate 30. These are going to move and be ingested by this supercell in eastern Hunt, western Hopkins County, and that may, well, that could do two things, honestly. One, and that's going to be a guaranteed thing, it's going to make this a high precipitation supercell, make the area of circulation, or if there were a tornado, the area of the tornado difficult to see because of rain wrapping around the mesocyclone and hiding it. Two, it may help to locally enhance the low-level vorticity or the amount of stretching and spin available, and that could briefly enhance the potential for a tornado. Or three, and this may happen here after number two, cause the storm overall to become more disorganized in the rotation department, but also result in more wind, more hail, more rain. So we'll have to see what the Weather Service does in terms of a downstream tornado warning. I'm just looking at some data here. We're going to switch back over to the high-res radar. I'm keeping a close eye on this supercell in Ellis County. Notice that boundary that extends from just pretty much Waxahachie, just near Alvarado. This is an outflow boundary that could spark off more storms, but specifically, it is cutting off an area of inflow into what could be a low-level circulation. Typically, I would be really concerned about this little hook echo, but it's behind this outflow boundary. And as long as it stays that way, that should help reduce, hopefully eliminate, any sort of tornado potential. That being said, that has nothing to do with the hail, wind, heavy rain potential, which clearly is ongoing. The hail indicator on this is now over tennis balls in terms of what the radar thinks is dropping. And the hail indicator on some other products we use is also ramping up considerably. So those of you in Waxahachie need to prepare for the potential of a destructive hailstorm now. The threat for hail, at least the size of golf balls over the next 10 minutes, is increasing. And yes, the radar thinks right now aloft at 40,000 feet, there's baseball to softball size hail being pummeled around. Okay, what is this? Let's go ahead and pop over. Let's take a look at what we have. What has Jason got on camera? That's not Jason's shot. We're going to fix that real quick. Stand by. Okay, there we go. Now, this would be the low-level wall cloud with the circulation near Cumby. And again, like I said, as these other storms start to ingest, we may have a brief period of enhanced tornado potential, but also it's going to wrap in heavy rain. So again, those of you near Cumby need to be in a safe place. It's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, don't go outside looking for this. This is right as we get at sunset, wrapped in heavy rainfall. The potential for a tornado, if we get one, to be wrapped in heavy rain. You can see we're looking through some rain and probably hail here right at sunset. And again, what we're going to be looking for is any sort of violent rotation, any sort of condensation funnel to the surface, debris being lofted, and power flashes, transformers blowing, stuff like that. You can see Jason's about to reposition, so we'll go ahead and go back over here. And again, this is the storm they're looking at. Why are we doing this again? Why just had everything set up all nice and happy? For those of you who have not joined this evening, we've been playing with all sorts of just nightmarish video issues. You can see the supercell structure there. And again, we're live streaming the Storm Chase video on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel, the Texas Storm Chasers Facebook. If you're on the Texas Storm Chasers mobile app or website, you can actually click on the videos tab and it'll load the the live Storm Chaser video. But again, those of you in Sumner, just west of Paris, northwest of Paris, Toco, Petty on 82, pretty good hail core there. Hopefully that'll stay north of Paris. That's going to be an issue for those of you up towards Powderly and 271. That storm moving northeast. You can see the storm around Cumby becoming much more high precipitation. So that's not what I wanted to do. Switch back over to this. You can see as we get near dark, we're having to constantly, or those of you on the Chase stream at least, we're having to constantly adjust the exposure. There, I'll just click back on this. Let me switch this setting. Come here, computer. Huh. My Explorer has quit responding. Interesting. In the olden days, I would just freeze the whole computer, but now it's just messing with the ability of me to click a start button. In fact, my Explorer quit responding 20 minutes ago. Interesting. Okay, we'll deal with that in a bit. All right. I'm going to have to restart that process real quick. That may result in something hopefully not drastically terrible about to happen. All right, we're going to have to switch back. That's just way too underexposed. You can see gnarly looking storm there. That's the Cumby supercell. Hopefully you all can still hear me. I just reset Explorer. But I can't remember why I needed to use it. Interesting. So those of you in Waxahachie, you've got a very unhappy supercell approaching your community at this point. We just got a report of quarter-sized hail northwest side of Waxahachie. Thank you to Juan Blanco on Twitter for that report. In fact, let's just do this. Easy way to monitor reports. We're going to keep this chat room open. And again, we'll keep an eye on the Chaser stream as well. I'm going to push this up here. So again, we've got a multitude of supercells this evening. We've got a multitude of hail being reported. By the way, in case you're wondering what happens if you try to send me a picture of your ice maker and tell me that's hail, 3 things are going to happen. 1, I'm going to call you out and call you a moron. 2, I'm going to say get a life. And 3, I'm going to block you. Which is exactly what I just did to someone on X. And again, thank you to all those sending legitimate hail reports. We do appreciate those. We try to pass them along. Alright, let's check this again. There's Steven, Adam. Up music. Great. See, I really just wish I stayed in bed today. I said a cuss word? Oh, I hope not. Alright, here's the Ellis County supercell moving southeast at about 25 miles an hour at this point. Let's take a look further north. And again, those of you in Waxahachie better get ready for some big hail. We've got supercell Greenville. You've got a storm trying to go up over Caddo Mills. I could have some small hail. Storm just north of Greenville, the potential for some small hail with that. Commerce, you're clear. Campbell over to Cumby, you had the potential for damaging straight line winds. Very heavy rainfall. Golf ball size hail. And the music is still going. Oh, well, here we go. We're going to delete that. You're welcome, Violet. Again, let's just switch back to the Texas view. Let me turn off the satellite. We know there is, there we go. Yeah, if I'm not talking about your area, you're okay. Sorry, I'm looking through stuff. All right. I am pretty sure I said darn tootin' earlier. I don't think I said something else. All right, let's talk about areas from southwest to northeast. Those of you in the southern Concho Valley, the far northeastern Edwards Plateau down into the hill country, plenty of storms at this point, the strongest capable of maybe some dime to nickel size hail, the potential for localized winds of 50 miles an hour. As we get to I-35 in central Texas, west of Gerald near Florence, that storm could have quarter-size hail moving east-southeast. Those of you on I-35 from just north of Temple up through Bruceville, Eddy to Lorena, east to Bell Falls, Sego, just west of Chilton, the potential for quarter to $half size hail, winds of 60 miles an hour. Further northeast, supercell near Palestine, the potential for at least golf ball size hail with that storm as it moves south at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. The worst of the hail should stay just west of Palestine, moving towards Elkhart. Storm itself is starting to move a little more southeast, though, so it's going to be close for Palestine. Y'all probably going to get hail. Those of you in the city of Waxahachie, the potential increasing for damaging hail over the next 5 to 10 minutes with this supercell. Pretty good hail core now just southwest of Waxahachie near Business 287 and 35E. We've got hail all the way up through Waxahachie, up towards Pecan Hills, south sides of Red Oak. That storm moving towards Foreston, Bardwell, and Ennis over the next several minutes. Almost looks like it's moving more south now, and if that continues, this could definitely be more of an issue for Foreston down towards Italia, or Italy, whatever you pronounce it as, probably Italia. And we're going to have to watch that carefully. Our chasers need to bump up their exposures if they're listening. Further northeast, here in portions of the DFW Metroplex, new storm going up over East Fort Worth, Pantego into Arlington. That could have small hail, heavy rain with it. Not much more right now. We've got a severe storm now over portions of Hunt, Hopkins, Delta, moving towards northern portions of Rains County. That storm has the potential to produce golf ball size hail, winds of 60 miles an hour. No longer tornado warned. That is good news. All right. So again, we are down to zilch, zero, nada, not a thing in the tornado warning department. Thank you to all those sending in your reports. Woo! Nelly, sink or swim, Mike on Twitter, thank you for that video. That was a good example of what you're dealing with down in Waxahachie right now, those strong winds. There is a wall cloud with that storm. You're probably going to get some hail soon, but thank you for that video. It actually gives good situational awareness. We appreciate it. And again, the general expectation is we're going to be dealing with a lot of storms this evening into tonight. And the worst are going to have hail, damaging winds, and heavy rainfall. In fact, we're probably going to be dealing with another round of storms later on. In fact, let me go ahead, let me pause this. Let's take a look at the latest high-res rapid refresh model. Now that it's starting to get dark outside, I don't have to pay as much attention to the chase streams. They'll yell at me if they see something, but I can start to actually maintain a wee bit better situational awareness on this. And let me tell you, as frustrated as I've been with technology on my side of things, finally, after all year just having issues with Chaser streaming, getting their video in, getting it out to y'all, that has mostly been working great today on the Chaser side of things, which is exactly what I want. If stuff's broken on my end, I can deal with that and I can fix it. Because that's a lot easier to do when I'm physically here in this room versus, folks out in the middle of Northeast or North Texas and having a remote connect in. So this was a good test, actually. And that'll allow me to work on things and improve for next time. Remember, you always have to evolve, or you always have to learn. Because if you're not growing, well, nothing good's probably happening. All right, let's press some buttons here. We're going to press that. We're going to press that. We're going to press that. I'm going to talk to myself. And we're going to load the latest high-res rapid refresh model. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to look at 8 o'clock. 30 minutes. Now, you can see this model is doing garbage. Absolutely garbage in terms of its performance right now. The only thing it's doing okay with is that storm near east of Greenville. It is missing out. Here, I'll just show you. Let's go back. It's literally missing out on every other storm. And here, let me turn on the radar. I don't know why I switched from the chat. This is the radar right now. This is what it thinks it should look like. So obviously, we're not going to use this model because garbage data in means garbage data out. I'm going to look at a different model. Okay, we're not going to use that. What I'm looking at right now is just to see if any of these models have a good handle on what's going on right now. Looks like the NAM does. So let me change the upper third. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at this. Now, keep in mind, this is not, I don't want you to think this is exactly what the radar is going to look like tonight. This is just kind of a good way to get situational awareness on what is going on and what might happen tonight. So let's go to 10 o'clock. You could see this model, the North American model, continues storms across the Hill Country, Central Texas, moving towards the Brazos Valley, southeastern portions of North Texas, and portions of East Texas. It also develops new storms back in portions of North Texas and Texoma. Here's midnight. You can see we got more storms tonight developing in North Texas. This is not the only round. We're going to have more storms late tonight and Monday morning. Those could also have hail and strong wind gust and enough cloud-to-ground lightning to wake up half the Metroplex and probably set some roofs on fire because we like to build roofs in the Metroplex that are particularly susceptible to lightning, it turns out, given the streak of house fires we've had with those really peaked roofs. I don't know what it is with that. I don't know if those have lightning rods on them or not, but boy, do those not have good luck. All right. Here's 2 a.m. You can see we've got a cluster of storms in the Hill Country moving towards the Edwards Plateau. We've got storms in East Texas. We've got a nasty round of strong to severe storms moving right through the DFW Metroplex. Could have hail, strong winds, a lot of lightning, probably some localized flash flooding, to be honest. Here is 4 a.m. You can see storms I-35 urban corridor all the way up Interstate 10 through Kerrville, almost to Junction and Sonora. It's going to be loud in South Central Texas tonight. We're going to have storms in North Texas. And again, here's 6 a.m. Monday. It's still going to be storming. Now, at this point, hopefully we're starting to calm down a bit, but some of these storms may still be dropping pocket change size hail, 40 to 55 mile an hour winds, lightning, heavy rain. Here's 8 a.m. Monday. Again, we're starting to concentrate the best chance for scattered thunderstorms closer to Interstate 10 from southeast Texas, the southern Brazos Valley, back through south central Texas into the Concho Valley. Let's just go to noon tomorrow because it makes me happy. You can see we've actually got some showers and storms popping in the Permian Basin of far west Texas. Let's just go to 4 o'clock tomorrow, and again, we'll see if this is actually what happens, but best chance of storms now along the upper Texas coast, the Victoria Crossroads, back into portions of the northern Edwards Plateau. Let's switch back to what the radar looks like right now. Let me switch the satellite source over to a mode we could use at night, because we're looking at the visible imagery, and, well, at nighttime, There is no visible imagery because it's nighttime. So here's a different view. And again, thank you for all your reports. Thank you for all y'all's pictures. We're keeping an eye on them. So this is what radar looks like over the last few hours. We had a tornado warning earlier. We have no tornado warnings now. We are dealing with storms that have a lot of hail, damaging winds, heavy rainfall, a abhorrent amount of cloud-to-ground lightning, but at this point, we have no tornado warnings. All right, let's take a look at the velocity data. And again, reflectivity. You can see this cluster of storms across portions of eastern North Texas now from, well, let's just say Caddo Mills to Lone Oak. Still pouring rain on I-30, but this is mostly south of Interstate 30 now. This is going to be moving south towards Tawakoni Lake, Emory, Yantis, Wills Point, Edgewood, Grand Saline, Mineola, Quitman, Alba over the next hour, damaging straight-line winds over 60 miles an hour, quarter to golf ball size hail, the potential for heavy rainfall, cloud-to-ground lightning. Again, this storm still does have a mid-level mesocyclone or an area of rotation in the mid-levels. We're going to have to watch it carefully. This storm over the city of Waxahachie is clearly a supercell. It's even got that flying eagle look. You can see how we've got a hook echo right on 35E south of Waxahachie. This is not a tornadic supercell at this point, but it is a supercell capable of producing quarter to golf ball size hail at least, winds of 50 to 65 miles per hour, the potential for a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, and isolated flash flooding, especially on those streets. And again, we're going to watch this storm carefully as it moves southeast at about 25 miles an hour. Generally, right now, making a beeline towards Bardwell, M House, eventually could be a threat to Highway 22 from Blooming Grove over to the city of Corsicana on Interstate 45 by about 8:45 p.m. this evening. And again, further south, let me switch radar sources here. And again, we're just dealing with a lot of hailers at this point. We're going to have a lot of these tonight. We're not going to talk about them all, but remember, if we're talking a lot about a storm near you, that's the bad news. If we're not looking at a storm near you right now, that's good news for you. We try to focus on the worst storms when doing severe weather coverage. It's like triage in a medical situation. We've got a severe thunderstorm producing very strong winds from the city of Temple up to Troy right now. Let me turn off that storm track. We'll put a probe on that. And again, you can see the radar is detecting winds over 70 miles an hour just east of Troy right now, moving into the city of Temple. These storms moving southeast at about, I'm going to say 25. This one might be moving about 25. I get a cookie. So again, this is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for storms approaching Temple, Troy to Lutt, moving southeast at 25 miles an hour with 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, quarter-size hail from Rosebud to Little River Academy to Rogers to Holland to Buckholz to Cameron to Bartlett over the next 45 to 60 minutes. We've got a supercell that could have golf ball size hail on 195 right now in the community of Florence. That's moving towards Georgetown. And again, that is showing more of a pronounced hail signature at this point. So those of you in Georgetown to Serendia need to be prepared for the potential of a damaging hailstorm at this point, as this storm is currently ramping up in the hail department. All right, let me load up another radar source. Jason's stream will be back in a second. Those of you watching on the Storm Chase stream, I'm trying to keep an eye on it. It's not usually the case where I'm having to monitor both all the chase streams and the coverage stream, but I'm trying my best. We're going to build a system right after this event that lets us have backups so I can better focus on the coverage aspect while also giving y'all a good experience on the chase stream. But vice versa, if you just want to watch the Storm Chasers, and here, let me click over and you can see what I'm talking about. You can watch this on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel and in the Texas Storm Chasers website and mobile app. If you're watching on the app or website, just click on the videos tab. It'll be the top video there. If you're want to watch our coverage, you can do so on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, 2 YouTube channels. And that also in our mobile app and website. That should be the top article right now on both the homepage and there on the article list in the mobile app. And then otherwise, let's just go back to me, myself, and I. And again, all these storms are generally moving southeast about 25 miles an hour. You can see here in the Concho Valley, in hill country, these storms have intensified to become severe now, with the potential for hail up to the size of quarters, maybe golf balls, northeast of Junction to Fredericksburg to Johnson City, generally moving southeast at about 15 miles an hour. We've got this storm near Florence. That could be at least golf ball size hail, if not maybe hen egg, 2-inch in diameter, moving down 195 towards the city of Georgetown at about 15 miles an hour. That's going to be a problem for Serenata to Georgetown if that storm continues. We've got storms over Temple up to Troy, northwest of Rosebud to Lott. Those could have 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. And again, here's the velocity mode, the how hard the wind's blowing mode, showing winds around 70 miles an hour or higher just east of Temple, southeast of Troy. And again, moving southeast to 25 miles an hour towards Little River Academy, Holland, Rogers, Buckholz, Cameron, Rosebud, and Bartlett. Let's go to North Texas. New storms developing in Tarrant County. Again, we're going to have multiple storms tonight in North Texas. Y'all in the Metroplex, you're not done. Do not think you are done. You are going to get more storms with hail and wind later. Oh, don't I sound so enthused about that? I'm really not, but I do have a lot of caffeine right now. All right, so storm going up over Arlington, 360 there at the President George Bush Turnpike, technically Grand Prairie. That's going to be moving towards Duncanville, Joe Pool Lake. New storm going up quickly now, just east of McKinney, east of Allen, near Princeton, Lowry Crossing, just west of Farmersville. That could have nickel-size hail and perhaps larger if it intensifies. Storm over southeastern Hunt County near Lone Oak to Point, starting to show more of a cluster mode, but also a good hail core. Still could have winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. That is moving southeast at about 25 miles an hour. That could have quarter to golf ball size hail, winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour as it moves into Emery Point, East Tawakoni Lake over the next 20 minutes. In about an hour, this could be approaching Highway 80 from near Wills Point to Edgewood to Grand Saline. Damaging winds, large hail. We have a very intense supercell with the radar thinking it is softball size hail just northeast of Forreston, northwest of Bardwell, now exiting Waxahachie, the southeast. Southwest of Ennis, this thunderstorm moving southeast towards Blooming Grove. No indications of strong low-level rotation right now, but definitely the potential for this thunderstorm to produce destructive hail. Would not be surprising if this had tennis ball size hail in the next 15 minutes falling out of it, and it may even try to start throwing out baseballs, given the hail core right now. We'll see how long it can maintain such an intense hail core, but again, this thunderstorm moving southeast at 25 miles an hour, the potential for golf ball to baseball size hail. Just northeast of Forreston to Bardwell there on 34, eventually crossing over Highway 22 from near Frost to Blooming Grove to Barry, east to Corsicana. Further southeast, let's check on the storm near Palestine. That is southwest of Palestine near Elkhart. That's looking less intense now. That could still have some nickel to quarter size hail with it. But that is on a downtrend. That is good news. Again, we have no tornado warnings. It is 7:48 p.m. on the 24th of September, 2023. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer, finally in the groove of things, so we can actually try to have some semblance of professionalism while still being Baldy-in-Chief. We've got a severe storm over Troy to north sides of Temple, moving southeast. This thing shot out a strong winds well ahead of it, so you're going to get 60 to 70 mile an hour winds a good 10-15 minutes before it starts raining or hail. Dallas could see storms later tonight. Some storms may be severe with quarter to golf ball size hail, winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour, heavy rainfall that could cause street flooding. Same thing goes for the whole Metroplex. We're not done. Storms chances continuing through the night, even towards sunrise Monday. Florence, you've got a storm over you. You guys could be getting some golf ball size hail out of that. Generally speaking, that is moving down Highway 195 towards Serenata. If it turns more to the east, it's going to impact Gerald. Either way, it could be an issue for Interstate 35 between Gerald and Georgetown in the next hour. So, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to set up this. Okay, sorry. All right, we're going to press that. While I'm doing this, let's switch back to the Texas view. Turn the radar on. Y'all can see what we've got going on. I'm setting this up real quick. Again, we got a plethora or many storms going this evening. Not expecting a big tornado issue tonight. I don't think we're going to be dealing with too many tornado warnings, but we are going to be dealing with many severe thunderstorms capable of producing large hail and damaging straight line winds as we continue into the night. And again, some of these storms, we're going to see more storms back in North Texas later tonight. That cool front is going to continue to pretty much sit for a while, and we'll see more storms pop up later on. An example being one going up over Grand Prairie right now. Most storms this evening will be moving southeast at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Some are moving slower, some are moving a bit more quickly. That'll continue to be a thing. So again, the most intense storms this evening, we're going to have damaging straight line winds, large hail. Some of these storms may be dropping some very large hail for what it's worth, and heavy rainfall in spots where we see some of these storms move over the same areas or multiple rounds of storms. It's going to be a case where we may see a couple inches of rain tonight, the potential for some street flooding, especially if we get heavier rain in the Metroplex again later tonight. So again, the best way to keep track of what's going on tonight will be by using the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. We've got interactive weather radars. We've got two, in fact. One is on the bottom tab in the app. But the second radar you can use, if you click on the More tab, we've got a second radar there, the Zoom radar. And that's the one we also have on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar. So we've got multiple radars you can use. Our app also has down to the neighborhood weather forecast for the next several days. We've got live severe weather coverage, which I know many are watching in our app right now. And we've also got the storm chasing video. You can click on videos, and we've got the live streaming chaser cams along with the storm chasing video B-roll, we call it, from the past. Some of those 4K videos where we put stuff together. Looks like Stephen Jones and Trey Greenwood are driving through some heavy rain and hail right now on the chaser cam feed. Switch to Adam's shot real quick, and here we'll switch over here too. Y'all can look at what I'm looking at. Again, I'm going to actually play this over the stream. So if this is working, y'all are probably hearing it. You can see Adam's got lightning, Steven's in pouring rain, and probably a bit of hail right now. Meteorologist Jason Cooley is out and about as well. You'll see some lightning on his shots too. And again, this is the raw Storm Chaser feed we're streaming to YouTube and Facebook right now, which is also in the Texas Storm Chasers mobile app and website. So we've been streaming this coverage and the Storm Chaser video. And I've been watching both, which is why I've been distracted at times. But that has been a lesson learned, and we're going to work on that for the future. And again, the radar on that chase stream there is focused to where our chasers are right now. See, Steven's getting slammed with heavy rain and wind. And while they enjoy their little fun, we'll switch back over to the radar here. And again, we've got new storms going up in the Metroplex now. From Arlington and Hearst down through Grand Prairie, south side to Grand Prairie, down to Duncanville and Cedar Hill. Those storms moving south, or let's see, make sure they're moving. Yeah, they're moving east-southeast. Lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, some small hail. We'll see those could become more severe here sooner rather than later. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings. One severe thunderstorm up in Lamar County near Paris. That storm's weakening. The hail core is coming down. That is good. We've got a cluster of severe storms, which our chasers have been on. That is currently near Emory to West Tawakoni. That could have 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, the potential for quarter-size hail at least. Big wind maker now, by the way, near Point down to Emory. This thing could actually have winds over 70 miles an hour. As that moves southeast at about 30 miles an hour, this could become a big wind maker. Again, city of Emory to Flats could have 60 to 70 plus mile an hour winds. That's becoming a concern now. And then down towards Wills Point, Edgewood, Fruitvale, and Grand Saline, eventually Canton and Myrtle Springs. The potential for damaging straight line winds, perhaps approaching that of hurricane force winds. Further southwest, a supercell capable of producing at least golf ball size hail, winds of 60 to 65 miles an hour, moving southeast out of Waxahachie. Waxahachie, you're clear from this storm. You're probably going to see more storms in the next few hours. East of Italia, west of Interstate 45, moving towards Frost, Blooming Grove, Barry. Staying west of Corsicana now as it's turned more to the south. Moving towards Dawson, Purdon, Corbett, Oak Valley, Richland, eventually Wortham in the next hour. We have other thunderstorms ongoing across portions of central Texas. We've got a storm over McLennan County. That's not severe now. Might have small hail, strong winds, heavy rainfall. We've got a severe thunderstorm just east of Temple now to Bell Falls. Hold on a second. I'm having to swivel around to look at my other radar screen. From near Temple to Bell Falls to Lott, but it shot out an outflow boundary, producing 60 to 70 mile an hour winds in places like Belton, Little River Academy, to Rogers, to Rosebud. Now, the potential for some quarter-size hail just northeast of Temple to Bell Falls with that storm. Further southwest, a supercell thunderstorm capable of producing golf ball-size hail near Florence, moving southeast towards Surrenda and Georgetown. So again, this storm, a supercell capable of producing quarter to golf ball size hail, winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour, heavy rainfall. Further southwest, along what appears to be an outflow boundary, we've got thunderstorms from around Junction, but not in Junction. Sorry, Junction, you get no rain. Just southeast of London to Fredericksburg, all the way east on Highway 290 through Stonewall, high to Johnson City, west of Henley, north of Blanco. Those storms generally moving southeast at about 15 miles an hour. All right, Stephen is in Emory. Or excuse me, Stephen's in Point. Oh, you can see, let's go back to that now. They're taking power hits. Just lost power in Point. This is a live video out of Point. See power back, power out. This is in Point. They're taking at least 70 mile an hour winds. This is meteorologist Trey Greenwood, Stephen Jones. It has lost power, so if you're in Point, you need to be in a safe place. You're probably taking hurricane force winds over 75 miles an hour right now. You can see we've lost power. The only thing illuminating folks under the gas canopy are headlights. Those are folks under a gas canopy. Let me tell you, if you're hiding from hail, when you got 75 mile an hour winds, hiding under a canopy is not going to help you very much. I'd be worried about the canopy coming down, honestly. Power back. They're probably going to lose it again here in a second. Again, this is a gas station in Point. There you go. Power out. You can see a tractor trailer in the background there. That's not a great idea to be driving in. Jason getting that awesome cloud-to-ground lightning shot. I'm a little worried that semi is going to get blown over if it's not loaded. Seeing winds could be now approaching 80 miles an hour, approaching Emory to Point. We're going to go ahead. All right, real quick, let's go back to the radar. We'll switch back over. I'll show you all what I'm talking about in terms of wind concerns around point to Emory. You can see we're seeing hurricane force winds showing up on radar now. Radar indicating winds over 100 miles an hour approaching point down to Emory, moving south towards eventually Wills Point to Grand Saline. Again, dangerous storm now that's transitioned from hail to wind. We'll go back to the chaser cam mode. You can see power's back out there at that gas station in Point. We've got other chasers out and about. Adam's there. Jason's feed's been live. It's just dark. You're not seeing anything. You'll see stuff illuminated by lightning. Looks like Steven just almost got struck by lightning, which would generally go with the fact he's been hit by lightning before. It's been about 10 years, but Steven has relatively bad luck when it comes to stuff like that. That's why we usually blame Steven for everything, but that's another story for another day. Again, based on the velocity just came in even stronger. Wow. For some reason, my mouse does not want to leave that monitor. Interesting. There we go. All right. Back to radar. And again, we've got the live streaming storm chase video on its own video, Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel, and on our website. You can see big old blob moving south there. Again, the potential for winds over 80 miles an hour. Starting to see storms in the Metroplex ramp back up a bit further. Could have small hail with those. Be happy I burped off audio. I had Jimmy John's! Supercell over southeastern Ellis County, moving into Navarro County, staying west of Corsicana with the hail core at least. Probably getting a good lightning show on Interstate 45. Moving southeast now at about 30 miles an hour. Blooming Grove about to get hit by the hail. This could have hail at least the size of golf balls as it crosses over Highway 22 in Blooming Grove. It's generally moving down 55. At the Blooming Grove, it's going to be moving towards Purdon there in southwestern Navarro County. Further south, blob of storms from near Marlin to Temple to north of Georgetown to Florence. Moving southeast at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Could have strong winds over 50 to 60 miles an hour in spots, damaging straight line winds. Could have pocket change size hail. Storm northwest of Georgetown may have hail larger than the size of quarters. We've got storms east of Junction to Fredericksburg, east on 290 to Johnson City down to Blanco. Generally speaking, pocket change size hail. Could have winds over 60 miles an hour in spots. Let's switch back over to the regional view. I'm going to loop this over the last 2 hours so you can see what we've got going on. We have no tornado warnings in effect. We're dealing with straight line winds and hail. We might end up with a severe thunderstorm warning in Tarrant County again for a new storm going up over Arlington shortly. And again, we're going to have multiple rounds of storms tonight in North Texas. So, Metroplex, you've got second round starting to build now. You're probably going to have a third round later. And all these could have some hail, some strong winds, some heavy rain. Again, the best way to track all these will be with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. You can watch our live coverage in the Texas Storm Chasers mobile app under the articles section. You got a notification if you had push notifications enabled for both this video and the storm chasing video about 2 hours ago. You can watch live storm chasing video in the Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. as well under the video section. Meteorologist Trey Greenwood, storm chaser Stephen Jones reporting 80-mile-an-hour winds in Point, Texas. We just showed that on the live stream. In fact, I'll show it again. So again, meteorologist Trey Greenwood estimating 80-mile-an-hour hurricane force winds, which we would have been happy to pass along to the North Texas Integrated Warning Team and the Weather Service in Fort Worth directly if we were in the NWS Chat 2.0, but, you know, after 10 years, they decided we weren't good enough. So, hey, you know what? We'll share that info with y'all, and that's who really matters anyway. If, you know, the big, smart official people don't really care about our reporting, y'all do, right? That's who matters. Just another push against the whole national regime anyway. So here's the view out of Point, Texas from storm chaser Stephen Jones and meteorologist Trey Greenwood. You've got Adam Lucio and Chelsea Burnett, top left. Meteorologist Jason Cooley, center left. Radar for their area near Point, Texas, which is around Emory, west of Emory, southwest of Sulphur Springs, southeast of Greenville, north of Ken. If you're wondering how meteorologist Trey Greenwood estimated the 80-mile-an-hour winds, by the way, some debris, but they also had the hurricane whistle and howling noise. Meteorologist Trey Greenwood and Stephen Jones are both very experienced hurricane chasers. And they actually, when they're hurricane chasing, they actually have a handheld anemometer they take out that measures the winds, you know, the wind cups. They're able to associate certain sounds with measured wind speeds from the past, analogs, and they had that howl you get with hurricane force winds. So that lines up well with the radar signature. And again, we'll switch back over to the velocity data mode. And here you go, velocity data mode in terms of wind, definitely the potential for hurricane force winds over 80 miles an hour, approaching Highway 276 between East Tawakoni and Emory. Those of you from Emory to East Tawakoni need to take your tornado safety precautions, given we're having hurricane force winds comparable to that of a tornado now, approaching Highway 276 in Emory. This is going to be in... I'm going to look at the county name. I think it's Rains County. Hey, I'm right. I get a cookie. There's 254 counties in Texas. Yeah, sometimes I need to make sure I'm saying the right county. But again... This storm moving southeast at about 25 to 35 miles an hour. The potential for hurricane force winds over 80 miles per hour now near Emory. This is moving down Highway 19. It's going to be impacting Edgewood, Fruitvale, Grand Saline in the next 30 minutes as it continues to move southeast. Storm over Tarrant County over the city of Arlington, starting to show indications of a more pronounced hail core now. Radar estimating severe caliber hail. Those of you in Arlington, you're probably going to be getting hail in addition to a copious amount of cloud-to-ground lightning. Severe thunderstorm warning is needed for eastern Tarrant County. We don't issue those. That's the Weather Service in Fort Worth. That is their duty. We just pass along the information the best we can. Supercell. Are you having little puppy dreams? Supercell approaching Blooming Grove, Highway 22, moving southeast at about 30 miles an hour. That could have golf ball size hail at least. That's going to be in Wortham in about an hour. Storm over McLennan County, not severe right now. Maybe some peta-dime size hail in the city of Waco. Generally moving southeast. At about 30 miles an hour. I turned off my noise removal for a second. We'll see if you catch the puppy dreams. She stopped. Cece!
Cece, you're okay. You're a good girl.
I'm gonna have to set up a puppy cam down there, but I've had enough issues just getting my cam to work today. Anyway, back to it again. Those storms moving southeast about 25. We'll switch to the Granger radar. Storm from southwest of Marlin down into